Hey, good morning, everybody. Go ahead and make your way back to your seat. I have up here with me this morning Megan Forbes and Lauren Thornycroft, and I won't give you a quiz on who is who because you should know that by now. So Megan is our youth pastor and oversees our youth, and Lauren is our children's director. She oversees our kids. And wow, they're excited. You don't have to say anything. You guys are standing at attention like this is like some formal thing or something. So the reason they're up here today is there's some important things that are happening with our kids and with our young people that we wanted you to be aware of. And so I asked that they would come and just share briefly an important transition that's happening and some things that are going on that you want to be aware of, especially if you have kids or young people, or as well overall as a church as we embrace how we care and disciple our kids and our young people. So Lauren, take it away.
You guys, I'm really excited about what the Lord has put on my heart for what we're going to do in children's ministry. Starting November, we are moving from a Sunday school model, which is what you're probably familiar with, and we're going to start what we're calling Kids Church. And essentially what's going to happen is that we're going to start having church for our kids in the same way that you guys attend church on a Sunday. They are going to have a time of worship. They're going to have a message, and then you guys don't get to party like they do. They'll get to do some games a little bit, and they will break up into small groups for a while, but there was a lot of things that we saw that were successful at the Discover Project that we want to start incorporating on Sunday mornings. And some of that means allowing and changing the atmosphere so that our kids can really start entering in and experiencing God in a way that's applicable to them. And so we're going to start to create space for that. You're going to see some things change in the way that it looks back there on a Sunday morning, but we're going to have church. We're going to ask the kids to start coming to church. And we're going to start believing that the Lord is going to start moving in that space. And we're going to start creating an atmosphere where they can encounter Jesus on a really real level. And so what that means for you, if you have children, is that your kids are going to get fired up. And they're going to start coming home. And they're going to want to talk to you about things. And they're going to ask questions. And so I'm hoping, you've heard me say it before, but we believe that the parents are the primary discipler of the children. So we're just here as a supplement on Sunday mornings to create a launch pad for what you do with your kids throughout the week. So if you have kids, we're praying that the Lord begins to light fires in them, that they change the way that your household operates because of all the questions they're asking, because of the things that the Lord is doing in them. And what it means for you guys is I'm extending an invitation that is a bit different than maybe what you've heard before, because we need hands on a Sunday morning. We need some bodies to help our kids really encounter Jesus. And sometimes that feels really overwhelming for you guys. You're like, a whole hour and a half with children? I can't even handle my own sometimes. Like, that feels like a lot. And so I just kind of want to explain to you that that's not what you're getting yourself into. The way that we are changing children's ministry to look is that we're creating teams that are specific to what needs to be done on a Sunday morning. So, for example, there will be a children's ministry worship team. There will be a children's ministry preaching or teaching team or storytelling team or whatever term you want to use for that. There's going to be an activities team. There's going to be a small groups team. So instead of you being like, man, if I say yes to this, I have to be responsible for children for an hour and a half. Instead, you get to say, I get to walk in something I'm already passionate about, and I get to empower the next generation to become passionate about it as well. And so I want to encourage you, if you feel like there's a tug in your spirit that the Lord has been moving you to serve somewhere in church and you're not sure how, to get involved in children's ministry. It's going to be really awesome, and it's going to be really cool to see people who are passionate about those specific things be able to walk out those gifts and not feel like you have to be so overextended, like, man, I really can't tell a story, but I can worship. Then come worship with our kids. Man, I really can lead a small group, but don't put me in front of a group of kids. Come and serve with our kids. It's going to be awesome. It's changing the way that our high schoolers are involved. We have a lot of high schoolers who are passionate about serving our kids, and so they're getting up there and they're preaching and they're going to lead worship. And one of the things you've heard me say before is that intergenerational ministry is the hill that I will die on. And so I believe that you have something to teach our high schoolers who are teaching our kids, and I believe that our high schoolers have something to teach you as you teach our kids. I believe our kids can speak into your life just like you can speak into their life, and so it's mutually beneficial for you to come and hang with our kids on a Sunday morning. It's fun. We get to party. You don't have to sit this long. It's really awesome. So I want to encourage you guys, if you're interested.
Don't take them away from in here, Lauren. Come on, jeez.
No, they'll come after. It'll be fine. I just want to encourage you that if you're interested at all, if you have questions, if you just even want to know more about it, I'm going to host a meeting next Sunday. It's going to be our monthly volunteer meeting. And I would just encourage you to come and sit in on it. That's not you signing a dotted line saying you're committed. It just means that you're interested. And I'd love to answer any questions that you have. But it does mean that a few things are going to change for our elements class as well, which is what Megan is going to chat about.
Good morning. So Elements right now is our junior higher middle school Sunday school class that we run on Sunday mornings. And in light of all of the things that Lauren is talking about, and just in light of just the structure of the way that we're doing student ministry right now, what seems to make the most sense is to move our Elements kids, so that's our 5th grade through 8th grade, and we're going to move them and have them be a part of what we're doing in kids' church. And for some of you, you're like, oh no, my kid just got old enough to be in this class, or like, what's my 8th grader going to do with a bunch of 2nd graders? Here's the thing. Something that we deeply believe in is that when you start growing and following Jesus, it is absolutely imperative that you are teaching other people what you're learning. You can't be a disciple without making disciples. You can't. And I know for a lot of us, that's been our experience. We've sat in church and we've learned a lot, but then there's this disconnect of like, but I don't know how to tell anybody about anything. I don't know who am I to teach? And so we want to kind of nip that in the bud with our youngest ones, that they know on Sundays, I'm going to go as a junior hire, I'm going to hang out with Jordan, who's going to be helping lead, and I'm going to help serve our younger kids. I'm going to get to hear a message. I'm still going to get to worship. They're still going to be learning. They're still going to be fed, but they're also going to be like, hey, junior hire, you're going to have an opportunity. What did God say to you? Can you help lead this small group with high schoolers, with adults? And we're going to try and teach them to do that from a very young age, because there's something really powerful about seeing Jesus alive in somebody who's just one step ahead of you, because it's really accessible and it's really relatable. So I want you to hear me when I'm saying we're not getting rid of Elements because we don't want to do it. We're not getting rid of Elements because there's just too much going on and we had to pick something to cut. We're moving our junior hires into what we're doing with kids ministry because we actually believe that this is a better way for them to get hands-on discipleship. They're still going to be learning. And with that, I want to say this. We have a community for our middle schoolers on Wednesday nights. And I know for some of us, the only community that they have right now has been Sundays, because that's when you guys as families are able to get your kids to church. Can I please encourage you that God is moving in our student ministries on Wednesdays? And that is the primary place where your junior hire is going to get teaching content that's age appropriate, where they're going to get to be in small groups and core groups and go to events that they're with kids their own age. That's the place that we as a family have set aside for your middle schoolers to grow. And so Sundays, they're still going to get great content and get to grow, but they're also going to be participating and serving so that that's built into who they are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the reason why. If you have more questions, please email me. Please email Lauren. We would love to talk to you more if you have questions or concerns. We can talk to you about your particular kid, where they're at, and how we can make sure that we're really investing in them.